Okay, let's make this 3D printing test piece, which is shown right here. Its dimensions are defined by these three drawings. We have this one, and this one. So let's jump right in and do this. This is one I've made previously, and if I take the rollback bar up a little bit to, say, here, this is the first thing we're going to make. It's the base. It's 40 by 80 by 5. So let's come in here and start that. So I'm going to place a sketch on the top plane, press N, and center rectangle here, 40, 80, Shift 7, and before I stop here, I'm going to rename this sketch base. Green check mark, we're done. P will get rid of the planes, F will fit it into my window. Now I'm going to extrude upwards by 5 millimeters, and I've got my base. So let me rename that extrude to base, and my part here I'm going to rename, I think it's 3D printing test piece 1. Okay, at this point we're going to make the holes that are on the piece here. So let's take a look at the drawing here. The holes are shown here. We can see that to locate them, we're 15 millimeters from the left side, and then where the centers of the holes are 16, 32, 48, and 64 millimeters from the bottom. And the diameters of the holes are 6, 8, 10, and 12. So let's go ahead and place the centers of those holes at the correct location. We'll put a sketch on the top plane, press N, then I'm going to place 4 points. So here's my first point, and I'm going to move up, and you can see that if I'm careful and stay directly above that first point, my next point will be directly above it. It'll have a vertical constraint there. I'll click there, and I'll keep being very careful to make sure I maintain that vertical constraint. And then I've got the location of the centers of that of a column of circles. Let's come over here, and the distance of these are 16 and 32, 48, and 64. You can see that much of the sketch is black, which means it's constrained, but some of it is blue. These points can move horizontally this way, so I need to constrain them by specifying that they're 15 millimeters from that left edge. And now I want to use a center point circle command to put in the diameters here. I think this one is 6, this one is 8, this one is 10, this one is 12. Let's go back here and make sure that's the case. Yep, that is correct. And it's always not a bad idea to kind of clean up your sketches. I think I accidentally put in 5 there. I want that to be 6. Here's 10 for the diameter and 12 for the diameter there. Everything's black. So I'm going to, before I accept that sketch, I'm going to rename it to holes. And green check mark, press Shift 7. Now I'm going to extrude each of these regions here. I'm going to change it from an add to a remove through all. And that extrusion is going to be called holes. And I've got the holes here, and now I want to put the these raised areas here called bosses. They're basically identical in sketch to the holes. I'm going to make them again, the kind of the long way, but yeah, just keep things simple. So let's again put the sketch on here, press N. Let's put the whole points here, and then just put them roughly where they're supposed to be and maintain that vertical constraint, like so. Now let's dimension them. Once again, there are more elegant ways to do this by using the ones we've already made, but this is an introductory course. Why don't we get some practice with placing points and applying dimensions? So that's what we're doing here. 48, and the final one here is 64. And if you look back at the dimension drawings, you'll see that this distance here is 30. And now everything's black, so it's fully constrained. There's the 30 right there. And I think we're good. So let's, no, we're not good. We need to put the circle in there. So this one is 6. This one is 8. This one is 10. And this one is 12. And again, I like to make my sketches nice and pretty, so in case I ever have to go back in and take a look at them, I can see how they're labeled, etc. Okay, this sketch, we're going to call this Bosses, B-O-S-S-E-S, and we'll accept that. Shift 7, and we'll extrude here, 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 and here. And to determine how high that is, we're going to look at this view. No, not that view. We're going to come to the second sheet, and you can see that we have 5 millimeters is typical for each one of these bosses here. So that's 5. So let's change that to 5, and we've got that. And we forgot to name it, so let's rename that Extrude Bosses. Okay, now what we need to do is add these little regions right here. We're going to call that edge recess and edge boss here. And to get the size of that, it's right here in this detail view, so we're going to go 3 by 2. And then we make the boss, it's also going to be 3, but it's going to go up 5. So a little higher aspect ratio. So 3 and 2. So let's also do these in separate sketches to keep it nice and clean. So I'm going to use a corner rectangle, click down here in the lower left, and then if I click on the edge, as I should, if I put in a number here, Onshape is going to complain, so I'm going to press Escape, but I've got it placed correctly there in terms of the width. Then I just need to come over here and make this equal to 3, and now that's fully constrained. Shift 7, and I'm going to extrude down a distance of 2 millimeters. So let's do that. That extrude, we're going to go the other way, 2, and I need to change that to remove, and I think we got it. Okay, so I haven't been naming these sketches and extrusions, so this is going to be edge recess, and this is edge recess as well, the extrusion. Okay, another sketch over here on the plane, on the face here, the top face, just like before. We're going to click there, hit Escape, go back into the Dimension tool, and this is also 3. And let's name that. This is called Edge Boss. So we'll accept that, Shift 7, and we'll extrude up here, and I believe that was 5. And that extrusion shall be called Edge Boss. Okay, so far so good. Let's go back to the drawings. So we've got everything except these little nibbles out of the side here, and those are on this drawing. So basically we've got some squares. Square bites are taken out of the side, 4, 6, and 7 millimeters on the side, and they're located, the bottom of the squares are located 22, 37, and 52.5 millimeters from this lower edge. So let's give that a try. So once again, we're going to place a sketch on the top, press N. Now, when you grab the corner rectangle here, what you want to do is you want to click on the edge to make that coincident constraint, and then pull out, and then hold the Shift key. See, if I move out here, you see how it's picking up a bunch of constraints automatically? I don't want that. I want to hold the Shift key, and now I can move around here and it doesn't pick up anything. So with the Shift key down, I'm going to click there, and I believe that was 4 and 4. And the next one I think is 6 and 7. Yeah, 6 and 7. So I'm going to do the same thing right here. Hold the Shift key and just click there, 6 and 6. And similarly, click there, move out, hold the Shift key, click again, 7 and 7. And you can see that well, there's a lot of blue here, which means it's not very constrained, so it can go anywhere along that line. So what we want to do to get rid of that blue is to specify these numbers right here, 22, 37, and 52 from the bottom of each of those little squares. So let's do that. Let's kind of move some of these dimensions out of the way. Yeah. So the distance from here to here is 22. Now it's black as we want. Distance from here to here is, what was it? 37. 37. And this is, I think, 52.5 from here to here. 52.5. It's all black, so that means it's fully constrained, and let's save it. Let's call this, I think I called these edge bytes for that sketch. Is that right? 4, 6, and 7, and then I think that's right. So we'll accept that, Shift 7. Now we'll use the extrude, remove in these areas here, through all, and let's name that extrude edge bytes. And I think that's correct. Let's see if the volume is correct. So I'm going to go to the Mask and Section Properties button right down there, make sure they don't overlap. Click on there, 15,855. That's correct. So what I want to do here is I want to click below there, so it changes from yellow. So I got the right volume. This is one of the rare piece where you can have the right volume and still have the part a little bit wrong, but generally if you got that number you're probably okay. One thing I forgot to do, so this would be part of your screenshot. One thing I forgot to do was to assign a material for that, and I do that like this, so ABS. There we go, and now if I use the Mask and Section Properties now, I don't get the red lettering because I have a well-defined part for that, or material for that. So 15,855, and that is the 3D printing test piece number 1. Thanks for watching.